Hello and welcome back. We're on chapter 1. Let's get into it. Oh, I lied. We're on the introductions. Sorry, I read the foreword last one. Now this is the introduction. Everything is made of light. We are the stars and the stars are us. When we see this, all of our senses are truly opened and there is no need to interpret the world. At this moment, our full unlimited potential is available to us and there is nothing blocking our way. Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements, which was a great book. We'll get into that at some point as well. My father, Don Ruiz, a teacher, a retired medical doctor, spent many thoughtful and transformative years interpreting our Toltec traditions to fit the world we live in today. The Toltecs were great women and men of knowledge who lived thousands of years ago in an area known as South Central Mexico. In the Nahal language, Toltec means artist, and according to our teachings, the canvas of the art is life itself. I've learned about the Toltec way of life through an oral tradition of my family, who, according to my parents' great-great-grandfather, Don Ezekiel, are direct descendants of the Toltecs of the Eagle Knight lineage. This knowledge came to me by way of my grandmother, Madre Sarita. We call ourselves Toltecs not just because of our lineage, but because we are artists. Life is the canvas of our art, and the work of our tradition is to teach the life lessons that will help us create our masterpiece. The Toltec tradition is not a religion, but rather a way of life in which a great masterpiece of living is happiness and love. It embraces spirit while honoring the great many masters of the world's traditions. The whole point of this work is to be happy, to enjoy life, and to enjoy the relationship with people we love the most, starting with oneself. I began my apprenticeship into my family's tradition in San Diego, California. When I was 14 years old, my 79-year-old grandmother, Madre Sarita, my teacher, the spiritual head of our family, she was a a faith healer who helped people in small temple in Barrio Logan, a neighborhood in San Diego. With the power of her faith in God and love, since my father was a medical doctor, the juxtaposition of the two forms of healing allowed me to see our tradition through different points of view. I appreciate the power of my grandmother's words long before I had a firm grasp of their meaning. I also saw things that others could only describe as magic, transformed into everyday happenings. Miraculous healings were the norm for Madre Sarita. I felt a strong pull from the outside world, though, the allure of hanging out with my friends, of being like everyone else. I moved back and forth between the Toltec world of my family and the mainstream world of school and friends, constantly struggling to find a way to combine my experiences and yet keep them separate at the same time. Though they spoke no English, my grandmother gave sermons and lectures across the country, and my apprenticeship began with translating my grandmother's lectures from Spanish to English. For many years, I awkwardly stumbled over her words, and my grandmother would just look at me and laugh. One day, she asked me why I stumbled. I had all sorts of answers. You are speaking too quickly. You don't give me a chance to catch up. Some words don't have a direct translation. She just looked at me silently for a few moments and then asked, "Are you using knowledge, or is knowledge using you?" I looked at her blankly. She continued, "When you translate, you try to express my words through what you already know, what you think is true. You do not hear me, you hear yourself. Imagine doing the same thing every single moment in life. If you are looking through life and translating it as it goes along, you will miss out on living it. But if you learn to listen to life, you will always be able to express the words as they come. Your knowledge has to become a tool you use to guide you through life, but that can also be put aside. Do not let knowledge translate everything you experience." I nodded in response, but it didn't dawn on me until many years later what my grandmother was truly talking about. Throughout life, we constantly narrate. We comment on everything we do, say, see, touch, smell, taste, and hear. As natural storytellers, we continuously keep the plot moving forward, sometimes missing millions of subplots that are developing on their own. It is like taking a sip of wine and saying, it's a bit dry, but it has definitely aged well. But I could taste the bark. I've had better. Instead of simply experiencing the joy of the flavors of the wine, we are analyzing the flavors, trying to break it down and fit it into a context of language we already know. In doing this, we miss out on much of the actual experience. This is a simple example of how we narrate life, explaining it, but more importantly, justifying and judging it. Instead of taking the experience for what it is, we create a story to make it fit our beliefs. During Madre Senorita's talks, I completely shut down my thoughts because if my mind's commentary got in the way, I would miss out on her message. With this simple process, my grandmother showed me that if we only see the world through the filters of our perceptions, we are going to miss out on actually living. After much practice, I eventually learned to close my eyes, shut out the world that existed outside my head and the voice of knowledge inside my head, and translate every single word she said accurately. Seeing beyond our filters, our accumulated knowledge and beliefs does not always come naturally. We have spent years growing attached to them in various degrees, and they feel safe. Whenever we become attached, it can begin to shape our future experiences and limit our perception of what exists outside of our vocabulary. Like blinders on a horse, our attached beliefs limit our vision, and this in turn limits our perceived direction in life. The stronger one's level of attachment, the less we can see. Think about your set of attached beliefs as a unique melody, repeating itself in your mind. In a way, we are constantly trying to force our melody, the one we have become accustomed to hearing, onto other melodies, without realizing that often the melody is not our own, and perhaps it is not even the one we want to be playing. If we continue playing only what we know, never opening ourselves to listen to other songs flowing around us, we are letting our attachment to our particular melody control us. Instead, choose to listen to other melodies playing. Perhaps you'll contribute to them and adding a harmony or a bass line, and just see where the music takes you. By letting go of your attachments to what you think the melody should be, you open up yourself to the potential to create a unique and beautiful song of your own composition or a collaboration that can be shared with others. In this book, I will teach you the 5 levels of attachment. These are guideposts for gauging how attached you are to your own point of view, as well as how open you are to others' opinions and possibilities. As the level of attachment increases, one's identity, the who am I, becomes more directly linked with knowledge, or what I know. Knowledge and the information we perceive are distorted and corrupted by our narrators, the voices of our thoughts that debate the rightness or wrongness of every action we take and every thought we have. When we believe in something so strongly that we lose awareness of our authentic self within the stories and the comments of our internal narrators, we are allowing our preconceptions to make our life decisions for us. Therefore, it is important to be aware of where we are at the scale of attachment with any particular belief. With awareness, we can regain the power to make our own decisions. It is my hope that you will engage this book to measure how attached you are to various beliefs and ideas in your life that create your reality, your personal dream, and contribute to the collective reality of the dream of the planet. Only with this deeper awareness of yourself are you truly free to pursue your passion and experience your full potential. The choice is up to you. Boom! There we go. That is the foreword and the introduction, and I'm going to pause it before I start chapter 1.